Hi, chat. Hello. Fresh back from the airport. 2.0 made it safe at town. Got everybody sorted out. Let's finish up part 2. Day 18. Yes, hot. Only the hottest and the youngest of the dudes. So let's get to this, chat. No, I don't hate everybody. So let's get to it. Let's get to it. Here we go. So.
You issued your initial analysis and report on January 30th, 2025, correct?
Correct.
Your report included a general timeline analysis. You used that phrase, timeline analysis, that you stated could impact, quote, event reconstruction. Do I have that right? Your January 30th, 2025 report does not discuss a collision, does it?
No, not in my report, no.
Wow.
As a matter of fact, your January 30th, 2025 report doesn't even use the word collision, does it?
Ooh.
Correct, because I'm looking at data from the infotainment and telematics module.
But the report of January 30th, 2025 does not even contain the word collision in it, correct?
I believe it does in the background portion, which would be on page 2 or 3, which would just be restating the, if you mind if I can look at my report?
Oh, please.
Sure.
Mm-hmm. Hold on. Do you want to proof of life, everybody?
Chat, I missed you.
Proof of life, chat.
No, so I apologize. The word that
What's
was
that,
used was incident.
Right.
Correct.
No,
But
they're
you
okay.
don't use the word collision at all in your January 30th, 2025 report.
That is correct.
I appreciate you checking that, sir. Also, and please keep your report handy,
Sure.
your January 30th, 2025 report does not in any way detail the timing of what you now call a text stream event at all, correct?
No, it does not.
So in
Whoa.
your January 30th, 2025 report, you refer to it as an incident, and in your May 8th report, you refer to it as a text stream event, correct?
That would be referring to two different things.
Right, right. But did you use the parlance text stream event at all in your January 30th, 2025 report?
No, I did not.
But you're using it now, correct?
Correct.
And we're talking about the same event, right?
Correct.
In fact, your analysis and conclusions were limited in your January 30th, 2025 report to generally identifying a clock skew between Mr. O'Keefe's phone and Miss Reed's infotainment system, correct?
That is correct.
On January 30th, 2025, you engaged in no further analysis to determine whether precisely the 1162.2 text stream event that you now call it occurred, correct?
Correct.
Why not?
I was not asked to at that time. I was just asked to look at the general timeline and consistency of the timestamps.
So back in January 30th, 2025, you were not asked to engage in analysis to determine when precisely the 1162.2 text stream event occurred. Is that fair?
That is fair, and that is based on the common concept that, you know, a lot of cases that we work, there is clock skew, but we do not have events to precisely determine what that clock skew is.
Understood. So wasn't your goal, however, on January 30th, 2025, to determine the correct timeline of events relative to this incident? Wasn't that your goal?
It was my goal to determine the data from the infotainment and telematics.
This is
modules
interesting
that were
as
missed
shit.
in the initial download.
Wow.
And create a timeline and consistency of those timestamps.
So Your goal
Yes, he's
was
balding
to
in real
create
time.
a timeline, correct?
Correct.
And that timeline, among other uses, was to be for your colleague, Dr. Judson Welcher, to use that in his analysis, correct?
That is correct.
So you knew not only what your purpose was, but you knew what your work was going to be used for by Dr. Welcher, your colleague, correct?
Well, I knew it was going to be provided. Yes.
And therefore,
Well,
it
you
had
knew
to be
it was
correct.
going to be provided. Have you ever talked to Judson Welcher, your colleague, about this case at all?
I have vaguely, yes.
How many times have you talked to him?
I would count a handful of times.
And just give me a general idea of the nature of the discussions between you and Dr. Welcher. You're both working on the same, quote, incident, right?
Sure. Yes.
What would have been the nature of those discussions?
So those discussions would have been identifying what I found on the infotainment and telematics modules, and discussing, explaining that data to Dr. Welcher.
So did Dr. Welcher ever tell you, your colleague, why he wanted to use that data for his purposes?
For reconstructing a timeline.
And for reconstructing a timeline and picking a time for what you now call a tech stream event, correct? You knew that's what he was doing.
Correct, for a timeline, yes.
Right, so you knew that for the 1162.2 tech stream event, he was going to use your analysis back in January of 2025 to try to pinpoint that tech stream event 1162.2, correct?
That is correct.
You knew that.
Yes.
And you know that he used that data to select a specific range for that tech stream 1162.2 tech stream event, correct?
I don't know if select would be the right. I understand what you're saying. Yes.
What term would you use?
Sure. So based on the data, he's identifying the time approximately when that event would have occurred.
And that tech stream event, that 1162.2, is what Aperture is contending is a time of a collision. Is that correct?
That's sustained on that. Ask it differently, Mr. Ness.
Do you know the purpose of the 1162.2 tech stream event in the analysis performed by your firm?
No, Dr. Welcher, I do not.
So you performed your analysis in all these timelines that you talked about on direct without knowing what Dr. Welcher was going to do with that data?
No, so sorry, I misspoke. So it would be to timeline the time and date, or to put a time and date with when that tech stream trigger would have occurred.
Exactly.
Right.
So you knew what the purpose was of your work
Correct.
with regard to Dr. Welcher's work.
Correct.
And isn't Dr. Welcher's work on the 1162.1 and the 1162.2 tech stream event an important aspect of the work of Aperture in this case?
Yes, it is.
Did anybody from the Commonwealth ask you in your January 30th, 2025 report to not discuss your work in connection with the tech stream 1162.1 and the 1162.2 events?
No.
But you didn't discuss that, meaning the 1162.1 and 1162.2 events, in your first report in January 30th, did you?
That was not part of my report, correct.
But you did delve into that, and pretty heavily, in your May 8th report, correct?
Correct.
And you delved into that pretty heavily in the middle of this trial, correct?
Correct.
So after the trial, do you know the trial started around April 22nd in this case? Generally?
Yes, generally.
So let's do the timeline on this. January 30th, 2025, you prepare your initial report, correct?
Correct.
In that initial report, you mentioned nothing about text stream event 1162.1, correct?
Correct.
In that report, you mentioned nothing about text stream event 1162.2, correct?
Correct.
The trial starts April 22nd, correct?
Correct.
Roughly.
Generally.
No, the trial in this case, this trial, about April 22nd. After the trial starts and after witnesses, of course, are appearing, you prepare another report, correct?
Correct.
And that's your May 8th report,
Correct.
right in the middle of this trial.
Correct.
This is also correct.
And right in the middle of this trial, you enlarge the number for the 21 to 29 range. That's bigger than what it was in your first report, correct?
No, that is not correct.
Well, you changed the number, don't you?
No, I did not change the number.
Well, let's go back to see exactly what you did, sir.
You changed that fucking number. Oh, shit.
Let's start with the basics. You said on direct examination, sir, that you prepared your May 8th report on your own. Those were your words on your direct testimony, correct?
Correct.
I'm going to read the first line of your May 8th, 2025 report.
Okay.
Do you have it in front of you, sir?
I do.
That's
Yes.
It starts, "Dear Mr.
he claims the industry standard, or like the is a minute. But this is where, and I wish Alessi brings this up. What organization says a minute deviation is acceptable? I can't imagine more than a couple seconds is acceptable.
Brennan." Do you see that?
Yes, I do.
"Pursuant to your request," that's a request you're referring to of Mr. Brennan, correct?
Correct.
"I have completed an additional analysis concerning the above referenced matter. To formulate opinions, the following additional items were reviewed." This wasn't done on your initiative. You put in writing you did it at the request of Mr. Brennan. Which is it?
So that was on my
Wow. Oh, Hank, you lied. Hank the skank lied. Wow.
own initiative. This is a holdover, so a copy and paste from my original report.
You're explaining
You copy and
May 8th
paste?
report in your language pursuant to your request as a cut and paste from a previous report?
Yes, I am.
Wow.
Do you cut and paste important information from one report to the other without checking it for accuracy?
I copy and paste certain portions.
Do you ever review what?
To be fair, I'm sure he copy and paste all the time. Everybody copy and paste all the time. But Alexi's going to do a great job here of fucking hammering him on it, make it sound like he's a schlub.
You cut and paste to see if it's accurate?
Yes.
You didn't review
I
it this
would.
time, though, did you, sir?
No, I did not think it was significant.
Oh, you don't think it's significant, sir, that the matter is in the middle of a trial and there's a request for a new report after testimony has occurred in that trial? You don't think that's important?
Objection. Sustained.
Why did you prepare the new report then?
Sure. So there was a claim from a PowerPoint presentation by Mr. DeSogra of trying to adjust clock syncs or making clock adjustments based on the synchronization of certain events. That was produced in March. Upon reviewing that, my initial thoughts were to address that in testimony. But as I was preparing for trial, I made the decision that it needed to be better addressed in a supplemental report.
But you understand that the report that you're referring to, that's the report of Mr. Soger, correct?
It is a presentation of Mr. DeSogra.
It's
Correct.
a presentation. You understand his presentation merely was responding to the work that you did, correct?
No, that's not correct.
So
How do you know?
your belief
How do you
is
know? Because you're fucking mistaken about every goddamn thing you do, you fucking hilljack.
that Mr. DeSoger's report didn't address at all what you had done?
Partially, yes, but no.
Are we doing this the Aki way, guy? Sure. We'll do it the Aki way. And real quick, Robert Lawrence with 10 subs. Thank you, Robert. Heard somebody on Casino dropped like 100. That's pretty fucking crazy. But you know, you guys, that I'm sure they bounced off the walls. But anyways, guys, thank you all for being here. And Corey, yeah, clock skew is real. I need a guy to explain this. Yeah. And I doubt he's going to. I agree. And we'll get to the rest of your guys' comments in a minute here. So Robert says, I'm sad. I missed a lot of streams recently. Been working. Well, I'm glad you're here right now. I'm happy to have you here.
Oh, okay, but let's cover the basics. You
Sure.
agree that Mr. DeSogra addressed, at least in part, the work that you had done.
He tried to address, yes.
Right. So do you know the date of Mr. DeSogra's report as March 5th? Does that sound right to you?
Yes, that's what I
So
said.
you had Mr. DeSogra's report that you claim was the basis for you
I know.
on your own in the middle of this trial.
No, I know that. And Corey and other people have done that. I was just saying, like, it, like, seeing the number 100, though, that's pretty cool. But I'm sure, like, Worski and PPP were, like, through the roof. That's what I was getting to in a second there. But anyways, I'm glad you guys are all here. The Gunch Ranger for 100 subs. Freebird. Oh. No, whatever you, like I said, guys, whether you give me a like, a subscribe, you just comment, or you can do something else, all of it's truly appreciated. So. And Corey, you had another comment here I was going to see. Yeah, I would not accept 1 second without further explanation, not multiple seconds. But 30 seconds is, yeah, way too much. Way too much. I can't imagine that, because if everything could be a minute off, then, you know, you get 10 vehicles together and they're all off by like a 10-minute window. Like, there's no way. There's no way that would work. 1 second, like I said, I could agree on. I could see that too. Kia Patrick saying a proper protocol is the device can't be up by more than 3 minutes. Yeah, they need to be precise for data transfer. I agree. He better hope his other report has that verbiage. I doubt it does. He copied and pasted his credentials. I mean, I'm not going to lie. I copy and paste the shit out of things, too, if I was writing a ton of reports. Do I have some cold? I don't think so. I think it's my allergies. So. He thinks this is how it works. Well, that makes sense, too. This is what he thinks it does. So. I would also subpoena all communications between Hank and this guy. Yeah, but it's too late for that now. I'd love to see him too. So. Oh. So let's keep going, guys.
Creating and submitting a new report, you claim that the basis for that was Mr. DeSogra's report of March 5th of 2025.
That is correct.
You waited 2 months to do that?
Again, my initial thoughts were to address it on
My
testimony.
question, sir, is not your thoughts. Just did you wait 2 months?
Just let him finish the answer.
My question, sir, finish it how you'd like.
Sure. So
2 months, was it 2 months between March 5th and when you submitted your report on May 8th? Is that 2 months?
yes, it is.
So, did you know when this trial was going to start, sir? Generally?
Yes.
Do you think it's fair to submit a report without anybody asking you in the middle of a trial?
Sustained.
Wow, that's a good question.
As we've been discussing, you issued a brand new report, in this case dated May 8th, 2025, correct?
Correct.
That changed your analysis, correct?
No, it did not change my analysis.
Were there changes to your analysis in it?
There were clarifications.
Clarifying. Yes, that I was a
Correct.
retard.
Let's address that. In your January 30th, 2025 report, you did not mention text stream event at all, did you?
No, I did not.
And you didn't mention collision at all, correct?
No, I did not.
And you mentioned both of those now in your May 8th, 2025 report, correct?
I don't know if I mentioned collision. I'd have to go to my report and look.
But you certainly do mention text stream events, correct?
Yes, that's
and
correct.
You labeled them 1162.1 and 1162.2, correct?
Correct.
That's a change from your first report, isn't it, sir?
No, it's not a change. It's a supplement.
Oh, so your definition is that when you add something to a report, it's not a change, it's a supplement?
That is what it is, yes.
Who did you speak to regarding the May 8th, 2025 report before you prepared it?
And no one before I prepared it.
So you just prepared
What?
it on your own?
I did.
You just voluntarily get fucking involved?
Did you have any communications at
Wow.
all? I asked you who you spoke with, but did you have
Wow.
any communications at all with
Hi, Paul.
either Detective Lieutenant Tully or Buchanan?
So I did reach out to Tully to get a full set of the location data, yes.
So you reached out to Detective Tully before you prepared your May 8th report, correct?
Yes, that is correct.
Did he tell you that the trial had started in this case?
No, not during that conversation, no.
Wow.
That's not the first communication.
No, this
you
isn't a
had with
crime.
Detective
This is just
Tully, was it?
bullshit.
No, it's not.
How many conversations have you had with Detective Tully?
I would say a handful.
How much is a handful?
Yeah, I would be speculating, but we'll say 5 to 10.
5 to 10.
Sure.
That's a lot.
Is Detective Tully expert at all in digital forensics?
No.
But you've had 5 to 10 conversations with him.
Correct. To get provided information.
At any time, has anybody from the Commonwealth had a discussion with you relative to your January 30th, 2025 report or your May 8th, 2025 report about keeping flexible the timelines for any events in this case?
No, sir.
Did you have any discussions at all regarding the May 8th, 2025 report you prepared in the middle of this trial with anyone from the district attorney's office?
Yes.
When did you have those discussions?
That would have been on, probably May 7th when I reached out to Mr. Brennan.
So you reached out to Mr. Brennan on May 7th, 2025, correct?
Correct.
That's before May 8th of 2025, correct?
Correct.
So before you sent that report in, you had a discussion with Mr. Brennan about it, am I correct?
Correct.
What was that discussion about?
That was just a discussion over the data and what the report said.
So you were discussing with Mr. Brennan what was going to be in your report, including data and analysis, correct?
Correct.
Did you tell Mr. Brennan that you were going to be submitting the report shortly to him on May 8th?
Yes.
Did you agree to a time when you would submit that report?
No, I did not.
Did you tell him when you were going to submit it?
No, I did not.
But after the conversation on May 7th, you discussed with
See
him
his
that
bug gun.
you had either pretty close to finalize the report. It's a pretty extensive report, right?
Correct.
So
God
on May
damn.
7th, you were pretty well along the way in that report, correct?
Correct.
Did you let Mr. Brennan know that?
Yes.
So he knew the nature of the report. He knew how far along you were with it.
Correct.
Did you have any other calls with anybody from the prosecution's office other than that about your May 8th report?
No, I don't believe so.
Do you have any texts with anybody about your May 8th report?
No.
Did you
I think that's
communicate with
bullshit.
anybody else about your upcoming May 8th report?
No, I would have provided a copy to Dr. Welcher.
Your colleague.
Correct.
So Dr.
Exactly.
Welcher knew you were working on this report, correct?
He knew I submitted the report. I don't know if he knew I was working on the report.
Did he know you were going to submit the report before you submitted it?
Yes, I'm sorry. Yes.
Did he know what was going to be in the report?
Yes, he did.
Did he support the fact that you were going to submit a report in the middle of trial?
I can't speak for Dr. Welcher.
But he knew you were going to do it.
Correct.
Did he say anything, don't do that? Or did he have any comment about the fact you were going to submit it?
Not that I recall off the top of my head.
Not that you recall, so is it possible he did comment on whether you should submit it in the middle of trial?
No, he would not have commented on whether I should have submitted it or not.
How many times in your career, sir, have you submitted a supplemental or amended report in the middle of trial?
This would be the only one that I recall.
So this is the only time. How many years have you been doing this?
Approximately 10 years.
And so approximately 10 years, this is the first time you've submitted a amended supplemental report in the middle of a trial.
A supplemental report. Correct.
Supplement, as you call it, a supplemental report in the middle of trial.
Correct.
This is just completely insane. This is bonkers, you guys.
Do you know a person by the name of Ian Whiffen?
Yes, I'm familiar with the name.
You say you're familiar with the name. Are you more than familiar with his name? Are you familiar with his work?
I'm familiar with his report in this case, yes.
So you're familiar with his work if you're familiar with his report, correct?
Correct.
Were you given info? Do you know that Mr. Whiffen has testified in this trial?
No, I do not.
Yes, you did.
And with regard to Mr. Whiffen's report, did you read it?
Yes, I did read his report.
And that would be of interest to you, correct? That's why you read it?
Correct.
Because Mr. Whiffen's report, and are we talking about Mr. Whiffen's January 2025 report or his March 2025 report? Are you aware there's two of them?
No, I'm not.
Do you know which one you're referring to?
That would be the January report.
So the January 2025 report, are you aware that there's just a couple minor differences between the two reports, or you're just not aware?
I'm not aware either way.
Assume there's very minor differences with the reports. Mr. Whiffen's reports contain information and some detailed, and they're long reports, right?
Yes, they are.
So Mr. Whiffen's report contains information about the cell phone of Mr. O'Keefe, correct?
Correct.
It contains information about the location data in Mr. O'Keefe's phone, correct?
Correct.
It contains information about the phone calls in Mr. O'Keefe's report, correct?
Correct.
It contains information about the temperature of the battery in the iPhone of Mr. O'Keefe, right?
Correct.
It has some timelines in that report, correct?
Correct.
And those timelines have very specific events that are represented in the data from Mr. O'Keefe's cell phone, correct?
Correct.
As a matter of fact, it's got location data and times that you have used in your report and PowerPoint presentation here, correct?
Correct.
When did you receive the report of Mr. Whiffen with regard to the cell phone of Mr. O'Keefe?
So I would have received his report sometime in January.
So 4 months ago, you had the report of Mr. Whiffen with substantial information about the types of databases you can find in the iPhone, location data, health data, phone calls, and a timeline, among other information, correct?
Correct.
You had all that information.
Correct.
And you had GPS location data in that report regarding Mr. O'Keefe's iPhone, correct?
Correct.
You know what an SQLite database is?
SQLite? Yes.
SQLite, yeah.
Yes.
And an SQLite database is one of the many databases that are contained within an iPhone, including Mr. O'Keefe's iPhone, correct?
Correct.
And you testified on your direct that you have general knowledge about cell phones, correct?
Correct.
And you say you've got certifications with regard to cell phones, correct?
Correct.
And your certifications include being able to read, Celebrite, and apply the Celebrite tool, correct?
Correct.
And you have certifications that allow you to apply and utilize magnet forensics, like, for example, their Axiom program, correct?
Correct.
And you've done that in your career. You've applied those tools before this case, correct?
Correct.
And you've applied those tools after your work in this case. You apply them pretty much frequently, correct?
Correct.
So the tools, the databases in an iPhone, and all the location data, etc., that was all information you had and you knew and had FASL with back in January of 2025, correct?
Correct.
And you had access to the SQLite database because you had Mr. Whiffen's report, correct?
Correct. I had the report.
You
Yes.
had the report. Do you recall on your direct testimony saying that one of the reasons that you did this supplemental report on May 8th was you got new information or more information about Mr. O'Keefe's cell phone?
Yes. Correct.
You had that information through Mr. Whiffen's report back in January of 2025, didn't you, sir?
Correct. I had the report. I did not have the data.
Well, didn't Mr. Whiffen's report discuss location in a pretty detailed manner?
Yes, it did.
And didn't he use GPS location data in that report?
Yes, he
Okay.
did.
And you had that in January 4 months ago, correct?
Correct.
And you read it 4 months ago.
Correct.
Yet you still submitted a report on May 8th in the middle of this trial, correct?
Correct.
Are you familiar with a digital forensic analyst named Jessica Hyde?
I am familiar with the name. Yes.
Do you know she's working on this case on behalf of the Commonwealth?
Yes, I think I have heard that in conversations.
Have you read any of her reports?
No, I have not.
So you're aware she's working on the case, but you're not aware of whether she's issued reports in this case.
Correct.
So you're not aware whether she has issued reports that mention about GPS location data, correct?
Correct.
Did you ever ask for her reports?
No, I did not.
Did anybody ever tell you or comment to you whether your analysis is consistent or inconsistent with the reports of Mr. Whiffen or Ms. Hyde?
No.
Did you watch their testimony in this trial?
No, I did not.
Did you learn of their testimony in this trial?
Yes.
No, I did not.
Yes, you did, you fucking liar.
Did
You
anyone
liar.
from law enforcement or any other aspect of the Commonwealth provide you with any summary of their testimony?
No, they did not.
But you had access to Mr. Whiffin's report with regard to his analysis and the data from Mr. O'Keefe's cell phone back in January of 2025, correct?
Correct.
He is Frank Abagnale. Guy's never done anything. He's probably a fucking liar about everything. That's why I said catch me if you can.
Having read Mr. Whiffin's January,
Why is he lying? That's why they're lying. That's why they're lying. Because there's money in it. Money, 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 money.
2025 report, you know that his report contains statements about movement and other activity of Mr. O'Keefe's phone after your time period in your original report of January 30th, 2025, correct?
No, not after the time period. No.
Let's take a look at that.
Sure.
Jeez, that's a lot of noise.
Let's take a look at your January 30th, 2025 report. Well, we'll come back to that. I'll do that in an order that makes a little bit more logical sense. You've mentioned, and just to cover the foundational parts, that you're not the only employee of Aperture that's been hired to testify as a witness on behalf of the Commonwealth in this trial, correct?
Correct.
Your colleague, Judson Welcher, Dr. Judson Welcher, has also been retained by the Commonwealth through Aperture, correct?
That is correct.
Justin Welcher, Dr. Welcher, is a biomechanical engineer, correct?
Correct.
Do you know whether Dr. Welcher holds any professional certifications?
I do not know.
Does Dr. Welcher's expertise extend beyond your own?
It is a different discipline than my own, yes.
So it's a different discipline. So it could be horizontally extended, and it also can be vertically extended depending upon the subject matter.
Sure.
That's a fair statement.
Sure.
Your colleague, Dr. Welcher, who is an engineer, did opine on the timing of the TechStream event 1162-2 in his report of January 30th, 2025, correct?
Objection. Is this the objection sustained?
I'll reword it, Your Honor. Do you know whether Dr. Welcher opined on the timing of TechStream event 1162-2 in his January 30th, 2025 report?
Yes.
So you do know.
Yes.
What is the timing of the TechStream event 1162-2 in the January 30th report of Dr. Welcher, your colleague?
Objection.
So why don't I see you at sidebars?
This is getting good. So, yeah, at least Welcher's real. Yeah. Well, he's Dr. Welcher. What did he do? He's from Alabama. He's like, I did the escape entry of a possum smacking into the front of a snowplow. Like, what's his PhD about? So here we go.
May I proceed, Your Honor?
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you for your patience, Mr. Burgess. You're aware that Dr. Welcher created a PowerPoint presentation with regard to his work in January of 2025, correct?
Correct.
Did you ever discuss that work with Dr. Welcher that he was doing?
No, I did not.
Did you ever review any of his work at any point, including up to the point where you're sitting on the stand today?
I have reviewed the slides that are included in Mr. DeSogra's presentation.
Okay. In the slides that are included in Mr. DeSogra's report include, those slides you're referring to are the slides of Dr. Welcher, your colleague, correct?
Correct.
And the slides that are in Mr. DeSogra's report about Dr. Welcher that slide discusses the 1162-2 text stream event, correct?
Correct.
So you have looked at, albeit through Mr. DeSogra, you have looked at the slide that Dr. Welcher had in his report regarding the text stream event 1162-2, correct?
Correct.
May I approach, Your Honor?
Yes.
You're welcome. May I have this marked as the next exhibit for identification, Your Honor?
Yes.
Thank you. And of course, important.
AAA for identification.
Thank you. May I present it to the witness?
Yes.
Thank you. May I remain here for a few questions?
Sure.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Burgess,
Yes.
if you could take a look at what has been marked for identification is AAA, and tell me, once you've had a fair opportunity to look at it, whether you recognize that slide.
Yes, I do recognize that slide.
And sir, what do you recognize that slide as?
So it is a slide that states a number of times associated with text stream event 1162-2, which would be the second event.
And did you consider this exhibit AAA in your preparation of a response to Mr. DeSogra's March 5th, 2025 presentation?
Yes, I did.
I offer this into evidence, Your Honor, AAA for identification.
Okay.
I'd like to put the whole report in.
Your Honor, I have no need to put the report's 143 pages.
So I'm going to let this in.
Hank, why would you put it in? You're gonna
and
get your
I haven't
ass fucked
decided
even
yet
harder.
A full 143 pages. Okay.
Fair enough, Your Honor. And I re-offer it into evidence, Your Honor.
Yes.
Exhibit 188.
Could someone provide me with that 143 page today, please?
Like, oh no.
Sorry, what were you asking for?
We can-
For a copy for me of that 143 pages before we leave today.
Before we leave, we'll get it, Your Honor.
Thank you.
One way or another. Thank you.
Yes.
You can, please.
Hold on, was it marked?
It's 188.
What number?
188.
Thank you.
May I present it back to the witness, Your Honor?
Yes.
Thank you. Sir, you now have what is in evidence as Exhibit 188 for identification. I draw your attention, and this is the slide that you considered in responding to Mr. DeSogra, correct?
In response to Mr. DeSogra's analysis of this slide, yes, correct.
And this slide, to be clear, is a slide prepared by your colleague at Aperture, Dr. Judson Welcher, correct?
Yes, that is correct.
Sir, could you please read the time that Dr. Welcher states for the when infotainment.
Notice Alessi knows all these answers. This is gonna be good. I already know the answer. This is gonna be good.
trigger 1162.2 occurred?
So that would be text stream trigger, just for clarification, but yes, I can.
Well, let's go to that.
Oh.
You use the parlance text stream trigger. Dr. Welcher uses infotainment trigger, but it's 1162.2. You both use 1162.2, correct?
Correct. And I think that may be a misunderstanding of how he's worded it.
Well, Your Honor, I'd actually move to strike that about what Dr. Welcher. I'm just going to what the document says.
I'm just going to leave it, but go on.
Thank you, Your Honor. So the
Ooh.
document says that the infotainment trigger 1162.2 occurred at approximately 12:31:38, correct?
Correct.
And that it ended at 12:31:43, correct?
Correct.
So we've got the trigger, according to Dr. Welcher, as of recently as January 30th, 2025, starting at 12:31:38 and ending at 12:31:43, correct?
Correct. According to the Lexus clock.
Right.
Yes.
So now let's go down to what says below. Per report from Ian Whiffen, O'Keefe's cell phone data showed, quote, most notably, all device lock events, including the final lock event at 12:32:09, were user initiated by the user pressing the side button briefly. You see that, sir?
I do.
And did I read that correctly?
You did, with the caveat that's according to the iPhone clock.
Right. But in any event, that's what Dr. Welcher states on his slide, correct?
Correct.
Do you know, sir, that the iPhone data reported by Mr. Whiffen that you read, that Dr. Welcher references, do you know that report of Ian Whiffen says there was an end of a health event of 36 steps covering a distance of 84 feet that ended at 12:32:16, which is after 12:31:43?
Yes.
And you know that.
Yes, with the caveat those clocks have not been adjusted.
But you know that there was a end of health event of 36 steps covering a distance of 84 feet that ended at 12:32:16, which is after 12:31:43, correct?
Correct.
Just stating the comparison. So now what I'd like to do is to move on with regard to the analysis. So in Dr. Welcher wrote this, the slide he presented, it's dated January 30th of 2025, correct?
It's not dated here.
It's not dated,
yes.
but do you know that Dr. Welcher created a report of January 30th, 2025?
I do know he created a report.
Right,
Correct.
and that's the same date as your report, correct? Your
Correct.
first report.
Correct.
So you both submitted your reports on the same date. They're both dated the same, at least,
That's
correct?
totally
Yes,
not a
if they're both
coincidence.
dated the same. Yes.
Yes.
Totally not a coincidence.
Are you familiar with the concept of pocket state in iPhones?
I am familiar through Mr. Whiffen's report.
Okay. You said you've read Mr. Whiffen's report, correct?
Correct.
So you know that Mr. Whiffen states that there was a pocket state detected on the iPhone of Mr. O'Keefe at 12:33:14, correct?
Objection.
So the same, I'm going to strike it, do it the same way, Mr. Lassie, okay?
I will, Your Honor. Thank you. Are you aware of whether Mr. Whiffen has put in the report you read a timestamp for detecting pocket states of Mr. O'Keefe? Are you aware of that in the report at all?
I am aware of that in the report. Yes.
Do you know when Mr. Whiffen has noted a pocket state detected of Mr. O'Keefe's phone? Do you know?
So, Mr. Lassie, why don't you show it to me?
That's what I was going to do. I will, Your Honor. And if we could put it up, we've got it, that's already in evidence on the screen.
Okay.
It's already in evidence in screen.
So are you talking about Mr. Whiffin's report or?
Correct. Well, you know what? I'm going to show him the report, Your Honor.
Thank
I'll
you.
do it the way you suggest. Sir, do you recall the specific time that Mr. Whiffin has stated pocket states detected for the phone of Mr. O'Keefe?
No, I have not.
If I showed you a report of Mr. Whiffin, might that refresh your recollection as to when Mr. Whiffin has stated pocket state detected? Would that
Yeah.
help you?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
sir, I'm going to endeavor to do that. If I can have a moment, Your Honor, I have it.
Yes.
Thank you. I have it, Your Honor, if I could have a moment. I'm just going to go to the page so we can do this.
This is just slowly. The death is looming. The death is looming. This is oh my God, chat. This is just so sad. Okay, real quick. T.S. Tolkien is saying British CV is the best gift ever to the it's a Commonwealth's best ever gift to the defense. Framed, yes. T-Rex Trucking says, I figured it out, people. Clock jitter and CVs plus or minus 17 years is the same thing as plus or minus 60 seconds. Same diff, right? Yes. And Lolo's bringing up an interesting argument. Is this meant to provoke a mistrial? No. Because if Hank tried to provoke a mistrial, that ends up getting dismissed with prejudice. If the state causes a mistrial, there would be grounds to completely kill the case. Now, the other thing is, though, remember, guys, no matter how bad this witness goes, Bev is not going to toss the case. No judge would. That judge would merely say, it's up to the jury to decide how they want to rule. Now, could Bev at the end do it like a directed verdict? Sure. But they're not going to kill the case right away. They're going to let it run its course. So that doesn't change much.
Agreement of sorts with Mr. Brennan. Could I proceed, Your Honor?
Yes.
Thank you. Mr. Burgess,
Yes.
I'm going to show you what are 2 pages out of the report of Mr. Whiffin that you referenced, and we've been discussing about pocket state.
Sure.
And this one here, if you just read this line, because it's the heading, and then the next page, and tell me, sir, with reference to this entry right here, if that refreshes your recollection with regard to a column of pocket state with regard to the phone of Mr. and whether it refreshes your recollection on any comments Mr. Whiffin made about pocket state.
Objection.
I'm going to see it sidebar for 2 minutes on this.
Okay.
Oh, she's just like, we're done for the day. So. Huh. So. All right. Let me see here. See what they got to do. But yeah, I don't think that was an intentional mistrial thing. It's just, I think Hank thought he had a better hand than what he did. All right, so we're done, chat. Woo! Cyanide Cologne says the auto sync is to your GPS. You don't think your car is spying on you? Chevy admitted it. Yes. And I don't know if you guys have ever seen that before, but there's clips of people with OnStar activated going, like, taking their car to the drag strip. And OnStar comes on like, oh my God, you had a massive acceleration event. Are you okay? Yes, your car has been spying on you forever. Yeah, and it's because there's so much encrypted data, that's how they hide it. And Corey, I think I covered this earlier. You are right. And it's good to see you, by the way. Yes, this standard clock sync is insufficient to correct to the degree he says, and I doubt he's going to. Well, I mean, all he has to do is all he's going to say is the clocks align when I can align the data points, and that's going to be it. That's how he's doing this. He's just skipping around there. That's the thing here. Some guy with cancer says, that was a hilarious bloodbath. That was. And I hope you're doing better, man. Good luck to you out there. Thank you for the super chat. The amateur iconoclast says pay to win. And he also gifted one sub. And Tolkien says Brennan is not that sharp. To be fair, though, guys, I don't think a lot of us would be this sharp. Like, you'd assume most of your experts aren't bumbling fucks. Like, that's the thing here. These guys were probably well recommended, too. So I think there's a thing there. OnStar also links to the newest cell tower like a cell phone. Yeah. Yep. So is this the type of witness that wins cases for the defense? Yes. This is the type of witness that can win a case, but I've never seen a thing like this, Treads. Like I said, if this was a movie, nobody'd fucking believe it. Like, nobody's ever been this bad before, so it should never be like this. But yes, this is the shit movies are made of. But yes, this is enough, because this guy, they can go beat Welcher over the fucking head with it now. And it's going to be even worse for Welcher, because I think he's like the president of Aperture. So it's like, is this acceptable shit from your employee? He's going to have to say no. And remember, Welcher's information is built off of this guy's information. So it all snowballs. And I could see them bringing Whiffen and all these people back for like fucking re-testifying on defense. So Brendan has a very bad case. I don't think he realized it was going to be this bad. Because he isn't stupid. He's doing his job and he's getting paid very well. Yeah, but he's fighting really hard for having such a shit case, Boosh. There's many ways he could be taking a knee and not making it obvious. He's fighting way too hard. He's really on this. Yes. Did I say who sponsored the Massachusetts Bar Association? Yeah. Aperture. Here's some good shit for you guys here. Here's some interesting shit. All right. Let me see if I can grab it here. So there is some stuff here. There's some funny things. So this is a funny thing here. This is that John DePietro guy. And somebody fucked with him and said Turtle Boy was right behind him while he was broadcasting, and he panicked.
Huge day.
So listen to this guy. He's a fucking
huge day. Huge day.
So you can see right there, somebody says Aiden's right behind you. Say hello to him. And look at him. Look at him panic.
Huge day with the Karen Reed trial. Huge day. Huge day. Huge day with the Karen Reed trial. Huge day. Huge day. Huge day with the Karen Reed trial. Huge day. Huge
Let's see
day.
if I can find the other one here. Hold on, chat.
Huge day with the Karen Reed trial. Kinds of people. Yes. All right. Oh, you know. So, all right. Wait, I got to get a mod for this. Kinds of people.
He's got to get a mod. What a pussy. Then this all happened. This all happened with Mark Randazza helping people protest. So somebody's wearing something about the criminals, corruption, Norfolk County, basically making fun of the DA's office. So here's what happened. She's wearing a sweater, and look what the police do to her.
It's John Pete. No. Oh, sorry, I was just saying that. Oh, I didn't realize.
You're in violation. You're trespassing. You know it.
Okay.
Okay. So what do you want to do? You want to go in and speak to the judge?
Sure.
And take it off or leave?
Sure.
Or are you going to be placed under arrest? What do you want to do?
She doesn't want to answer any questions, sir. I'm her attorney.
All right.
That's Mark Randazza. Now watch what these fucking faggots do to her.
You'd be placed
No, no,
under
no,
arrest.
don't cooperate.
Don't
You
get
kidding
rough.
me?
Don't get rough.
Cooperate and don't get double. Double. What's she being charged with?
Trespassing. Violation of the court order. All right.
They should like that.
Yep.
Now the federal court is having a hearing about this today. So I'm sure the police are going to get their assholes reamed out.
We got you, girl. We got you.
Those brave police officers, bravest men in Massachusetts. Yeah, they tried really hard to get her to resist. No, this is outside the courthouse in Boston. This is outside the Karen Reed house.
I'm going that way. I don't care. I don't care.
That's totally fine. I have nothing illegal on me.
Okay. All right. I want to set them here.
You can't get it off me without the customer don't worry.
What?
And then my front part, my phone. Yep. And
We
then
take
I
See, I'd have been a smart ass guy asking, you guys fake evidence like Proctor does? Are you guys pieces of shit like him? Are you guys pieces of shit like Buchanan?
well, my front pocket might have
What's that?
some papers in
I'll
it.
take
I
it.
don't know.
Which one?
My front
No, let her-
pocket might have
let
some
her-
papers. No, those are
Okay.
You taking it? You should probably keep your phone so you make calls and get out. Unless you want someone else to have it.
No, I don't think so. If I do, it's
So,
my hair out of my church. I need someone to move it.
Erica, who should I call?
Anthony.
Where are your keys?
anyways, bunch of faggots. Yeah, says no evidence Proctor planned anything. Hey, man, I'd love to agree, but we don't have evidence logs that were properly documented, and the shit sat in their office for a month unaccounted for. So who knows what got done? There's a reason why we have the rules and procedures that are followed. These guys did not follow basic protections of chain of custody. There's a reason why we do that, because then we don't have to worry about them ever thinking about doing this shit. When they don't do it, yeah, it is. That is evidence of planting. That is evidence of mishandled evidence. I'm sorry, man. Once again, if you think this is acceptable police conduct in any other case, holy shit, man. Holy shit. I get it. You don't like Karen. She's, she got cooties or whatever it is, and you wonder how John O'Keefe's wiener would have tasted in your mouth. I get it. But you can't sit there and go, this is the most up and up investigation. It's not planning. How do you know it's not? There's a reason why they don't do the things they did. So we don't have to worry about them planning evidence. But when they do the shit that people says, there's a reason why you don't do those things, because that's what people do is they plan evidence. So, yeah. I mean, they lied. Proctor's lied about a bunch of shit. Although we really won't know what Proctor's done because Hank hasn't called him to testify. Why is that? Because it looks like he planted stuff. Just saying there. But I get it. Karen's a bad man. She's a bad man. T-Rex Truckee says, Take have a moral legal obligation to reject taking the job if he feels the state is prosecuting an innocent person. Remember, the standard for prosecutors is, does your charges support the probable cause standard? That's all you have to do to ethically take a case to trial. So who knows? Who knows? T.S. Tolkien in the end says, in the end, justice for John and Karen. The hacks and liars are going down. Jackson and Leslie will prevail. Yeah, that's not, the DOJ is not watching. Karen, whatever happened to John O'Keefe is whoever did it's going to get away with it, and it's not going to be Karen. So probably nothing else is going to happen. The blue shirts are tyrants. All tyrants are the same. Yes, they are. Minnesota knows. Member for 5 months is, unlike Yaya, my daughter is a champion at T-ball. There you go. Well, thank you for being here for 5 months of support. So I agree. There's nothing there. The FBI is coming in to arrest people. Like this is it. This is it. If Karen doesn't get convicted, nobody's getting convicted for this. It's too late now. So Sally Ann says, hi, everyone. This trial just keeps giving. Yaya says, shoddiness isn't corruption. Corruption does not necessarily mean, like, evil. Like, your files get corrupted on your computer. They're corrupted. Like, that doesn't mean, like, your computer files sold you out or extorting you. They're corrupted. But shoddiness is an example of incompetence in a corrupted investigation. Like, there's a reason why we have standards. Standards are supposed to be met to make it beyond reproach, and they can't do that. So yeah, we have every right to presume they're not doing it right. We have rules for a reason. This isn't Nam. Are broken taillight pieces removed? Maybe. We found taillight pieces in the bags. If Buchanan pulls a shoe out of the wrong bag, you know, the evidence isn't properly logged, and there's all these issues. Yeah, there's a problem. There's a problem. There's a problem, buddy. And if you're not going to tell them, like, here's the deal. If it's not all maliciously done, they're so fucking retarded, I can't trust them. So you can choose which one it is. They're evil or they're too retarded to do investigation. I don't know which one you want, but if they're too retarded to investigate, not guilty. Pack your bags. So lights are planted or was a collision? Well, the collision still doesn't make any sense. How does John have face and front and back of the head wounds if the car hit him in the chest? Doesn't make any sense. The information does not make any sense. His injuries are inconsistent. I mean, that's something you still can't answer. You can't answer that. So taillight pieces are taillight pieces. I mean, are they? Still. How do you explain John's injuries? Because John's injuries are not explained by a collision. That's the biggest thing. I don't like the rest of it. I hit him, fine. All of that's true. How do you explain his injuries? What part of the car hit him and what part hit his body? You can't explain that. So T.S. Tolkien for $10, thank you, is saying if Proctor is your best, do better. What a fuck up he wasn't getting in control of a scene. What a great job at isolating witnesses, gathering facts, chain of custody. The Canton trolls, yes. Did I hear what Nick accused the nanny of doing? Why his ass better be at the fucking police department filing police reports. He had no problem going after Aaron and crying about fucking pictures. When somebody actually harms your kid, and he'd better be at the fucking police station. He'd better be at the fucking police station. Your kids were given alcohol. Why aren't you at the fucking police station? We know why, because it's bullshit. So, who knows how he was precisely struck? Well, it's on you. You're the one saying John O'Keefe got hit by a car. It's kind of on you to explain to me how it happened. If you can't explain to me how it happened, that's reasonable doubt. That's part of the issue here. You can't just say, oh, he's dead, and then we go home. He's dead, Karen did it. No, you have to tell me how Karen did it. That's how this works. Yeah, I mean, there's no evidence of an impact. I agree with you on that. Okay, well, if you don't believe he's struck, there's a conspiracy. Okay, well, he wasn't struck. I know, but knowing how precisely he was struck is an unknown, which is why the context is so important. Well, I mean, we don't know what happened here, so, and I don't believe all these people involved. Proctor is not trustworthy. Do you believe he's trustworthy? No. There's like, he could have planted evidence. It's a very real possibility right now. So there you go. I've never seen such a fucked up investigation ever. So, Allegan News is saying the court can determine how to enforce the buffer zone as MSP doesn't need to enforce them. I agree. T.S. Tolkien is now a new member. Thank you, man. I appreciate you being here. Thanks for showing up. Okay. 291 people. Wow, you guys are troopers. Is Nick blaming the coke on the nanny? No, he's claiming one of the nannies gave his kids alcohol. It's like, well, you better go to the police about that. So, it's all bullshit. It's all fucking bullshit with him. So, hashtag says, how can no one coming in and out of the house for weeks saw any tail light? Well, to be fair, I don't think they knew it was there. If you don't see it in your yard walking by or driving by, you're not necessarily going to walk over there and like kick around to find things. So I don't necessarily think that's a problem. Did they ever put pieces of the taillight back together? They did. And there's still pieces that are unaccounted for. Glad for more content. Thanks for the stream. Well, of course, we had to finish this shit. Maddie B says, ban me, Sean. It's not how bans work. Can't just do it. It's like making you a mod. It doesn't it happens. You just got to let it happen. So. Yeah, it's still funny and weird how he never brought it up until now. I know. That's always how it works. In the long history of homicides, how many victims were dropped outside the house they were killed in? Okay, let me put it like this. There was a fight, or John slipped and fell and cracked his head. How many times has somebody just been thrown outside? A lot. They're like, oh, he got hit, or something happened out there. Like, that's happened quite a bit. People panic and throw them outside. Like, that's happened a lot, dude. That's actually not an uncommon thing. Or like in college, someone slips and falls and cracks their head. They dump them outside. Not uncommon. That's far more common than this idea that Karen hit John and he did some pirouetting jump flip kick and landed like 30 feet away. Far more common. So. This case is seen in an entirely different light. They didn't charge her with murder. I mean, maybe, but hey, the state did what they did here, so. Fraternities kill kids all the time. Yep. People hide those bodies. Not always. Yeah, we've thrown people out of parties and they passed out on the lawn. Nick just realized he needs a cover for one of our wife's relatives witnessing the kids being drunk. No, I mean, well, it's already happened. But yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if that's an issue. Yeah, says seasoned cops panic. Dude, people panic all the time. Cops that commit crime. Dude, people committing crimes is not their normal mode of thinking. And they've all been drinking. And you notice you could tell so far, like, Brian Higgins is a fucking retard. Brian Albert's not much smarter. So yeah, them panicking makes perfect sense. So yeah, there's also pieces that didn't belong to the Lexus. So, there's all kinds of stuff. Yeah, they panic. Like, you're not normal. Like, it's not a normal thing for you to do. They're seasoned cops. They're seasoned at being cops. They're not seasoned at being criminals. It's a big difference. So now you got to go read Nick's Kiwi. Well, there you go. Yeah, cops panic all the time too. Yes. Yes, they shoot innocent people all the time. So. All right, guys, it is it's late. It's 1:45. I got to get up in the morning. So, yeah, more ass whipping tomorrow. More, oh my god, this is this is a snuff film in the making. This is rough. I don't know how Alessi can keep on beating the shit out of this guy, but he's going to. Alessi's like, I'm going to beat him till he's dead. And he's just going to keep going. Sean, tweet me at 4 a.m. tonight. Okay. I'll work on that. So, real quick, we'll get this last thing here. T.S. Tolkien again for $10 doodles says they beat him and let them die in the cold. The world is watching now. They're trapped. They refused to get in the way of everything. They thought she would plead it out or it would be an episode. Yeah, I'm sure they thought she would get convicted. But I do think the people in that house know a lot more than they're telling everybody. So it wouldn't surprise me. I don't know if I buy the whole beating thing. I mean, it's, yeah. Yaya says, like, well, here's the thing, dude. People fuck up all the time. Dude, go watch Forensic Files. Everybody, like, no matter what you do, you fuck up one thing. Like, yeah, it's a conspiracy. You know how everybody got rid of all their phones the day before that there were court orders going out for them? That doesn't sound fishy to you? That Brian Higgins snapped his phone in half and threw it away on military bases? Yeah, Jen tried to do that, and then she deleted a bunch of other shit off her phone. Yes. And Jen McCabe, being the leader, is the dumbest fucking one. She actually, like, fucking documented some shit. The house long. Yes. People fuck up when they commit crimes. Go watch Forensic Files. Even the smartest people fuck up. So, yes, they do. Oh, back to reality. Thanks for the responses room. All right. Well, hey, have a nice night. So, Platty, thank you for being here. Your new face. Thank you for stopping by. I appreciate it. Gifting 5 subs. Let's go, chat. Let's go. Yeah, there's a lot of evidence to suggest they tried to cover it up. Yep. Sold the house, got rid of the dog. Yep. I agree. So there's a lot there that doesn't make sense. Boosh, who's been a member for 6 months. Thank you, Boosh. Says no evidence of a vehicle hit. I agree. There's no evidence of a vehicle impact. Nothing consistent. So. Yeah, says they never discussed conspiracy in all that time. I don't know if they have. They throw all their phones away, so who knows what they've talked about. So, T.S. Tolkien says house long till verdict. I don't know. Oh, he sold the house his daddy made him. Oh, Cillian says, great chat. I love how you go through chat and answer questions too. Well, I try to. You know, because not everybody can afford a super chat. Not everybody wants super chat, but a lot of people have good questions. It's important to engage. It's important to engage because I like doing this because I like talking and I like sharing the thoughts and I like, us learning too. So, but thank you. Kung Fu Fish says, I have no idea about this case. I thought it was the one where the girl left the guy in the suitcase and he was too pussy to break out. Oh, you thought this was Sarah Boone? No. And it wasn't that he was like too pussy. He was like, he was positionally asphyxiated. Like he couldn't move. Like, if you were in that position, you wouldn't have been able to get either. Nobody would have. There's no way for you to move. So. Yeah, he was actually suffocating in that one, yeah. Yeah, but Sarah Boone's going away forever, so. Yeah, says that they're conspiring with a lot of time during that night. She's in cops don't press radio silence. No! Cops use radios all the time. They don't have to worry about radio silence. They operate using radios. They operate with tons of communication. So no, it doesn't always work that way. Like, they 100% would have been communicating. Why did they get rid of their phones? What was hiding on them? That's a question. What did Jen not have on her phone? 'Cause remember, I can't trust Whiffen at this point. He sounds like a tard too. So, yeah, the butt dials. All these butt dials for like 30 seconds apart and all this. Why was Brian Higgins wandering around the police station at 1:30 in the morning? Like, none of it makes sense. So, all kinds of stuff. So, yeah. How many coincidences before it's a cover-up? Yeah. So, butt dialing was for a booty call, maybe. We don't know. All right, chat. With that said, we are going to bed. Yeah. Radio silence means no talking. No. Then why did they get rid of all their shit? Why is Brian Higgins on the phone at 1:30 in the morning when it was all the butt dials? Like, no. Like, who knows what they're doing? Do I ever go to the rare breed case yet? No, that's something we'll go over this week. So anyways, chat, we are all done. I got to go to bed. The plane is landing here. See you tomorrow, 6 p.m. normal time, and we are going to get right back at it. Good night, chat. And God almighty, are they going to stretch this man's butt out even more as we go? Ooh, buddy. Karen, you needed a dub. You guys want to know what I told you there'd be a blowout? This is a blowout. This is a bombshell. This is that big dub Karen needed. So, yeah, from Friday to today, her odds just went back up. So, she's back at 50-50, chat. So, good night, chat. I'll see you tomorrow.
Weapons blacksmithing and models of planes, esoteric works and even some trains. Much merriment had while drinking White Claws, tips on hunting and even talking the law. Whatever you do, just don't talk to cops, even when they nab you on illegal stops. Just 'cause you did it doesn't mean you're guilty, but please talk to a local attorney. Was that the fat guy?